1.2 task 1 says the table below shows the elevations above or below sea level of several lakes. So, right, the ocean and the water is at 0, and then it's showing if you go above that or below that. Sea level is 0. So then we go higher and lower, positive and negative. So we have these 5 lakes here and their elevations. How could you use a horizontal number line to compare the elevations? So horizontal is one that goes left and right, goes across like the horizon of the sky. So if we had here's 0 or sea level, the positives would be on the right and the negatives would be on the left. So that's what we want to tell them here for A. Our positives are on the right, the negatives are on the left on a horizontal number line. What happens to the elevations as we move right? So as we move across getting right, they are getting bigger. And as we move left on the number line, if we go this way, then the elevations are getting lower. So these ones are getting higher and higher above sea level. And as we go to the left, they're getting lower and lower below sea level. So these ones are getting higher and bigger. These ones are getting lower and smaller. So now it wants us to show which lake is at a lower elevation. So we want lower, Springbrook or Forest Lake, and we have to explain our reasoning or prove it with a number line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out a little number line, and it can go left and right or up and down. So here's 0 at sea level. And the first one we're comparing is Springbrook Lake. It's at negative 75 and 2/10 feet. So I'm going to go negative, oh no, my lights are turning out, negative 75. So that's Springbrook is negative 75. And I also have to compare Forest Lake, which is 90, and that's a positive. So it's going to be over here. So Forest Lake is at 90. So here's my reasoning for which one I think is higher. Well, I know this is positive, this is negative. So Forest Lake is going to be higher. If I have negative 75, that's a lot lower than 90. So Forest Lake is, oh, it wants lower. Oh, gotta read the question. Okay, try that again. It wants the lower one, which we found. Springbrook Lake is lower. So Springbrook Lake is lower, right? And it wanted us to explain. I have all my explanation in my work in this class. If you show your work, that is a great explanation. I will take that. So the next one wants us to know which one is higher. So this time we're going higher. Always go back and read your question. Belden Lake or Springbrook Lake. So we're going to start with our number line. Here's sea level. And we know Springbrook was negative 75.2. I'm just going to put negative 75. So here's Springbrook. And I also need to find Belden. So Belden is negative 18. So right here's like 10, 20, 30. So it's close to the 20. Negative 18 is Belden. So I'm going to compare these. So Belden is negative 18. And I'm comparing that to negative 75. Well, negative 75 is more to the left. So that's actually lower than still, right? Springbrook was on the left of Forest and to the left of Belden. So either way, Springbrook is lower. Now the question wants to know which one is higher. Belden is higher. So we have our proof here. Using our number line, we wrote an inequality, answered the question. So now you're going to explain how could you use a number line to put all of these in order. So we have all of our lakes here. And if I'm putting these all on a number line, so here's 0. So let's start. So Belden, right, was negative 18.5. So here's Belden. I want to label them so I know. Forest was all the way over here at 90. Then we have Springbrook at negative 75.2. So here's Springbrook. Western was 44, about halfway to 90. We have Western, and then Pleasant is 4.5, so pretty close to 0. We have Pleasant, 4.5. So now that I have these all in the number line, it's really easy to put them in order. I'm just going to start on the left and work my way across to put them in order from least to greatest. That starts the smallest, and as I go to the right, it's getting bigger, 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 or the elevation's going up, up, up. So make sure you have A through F answered. So even if I didn't write an answer, I talked about it. So be sure you're listening and doing the work with me. So make sure A through F is all filled